Welcome to Everything Guns, where we talk about guns. I'm David. Jody's on the other mic. We're going to get right into it.
So before we start with our first segment on use of force reviews, I wanted to give a couple of updates. The first one on Daniel Perry, which involved the Texas case where the guy was just last week, I think, sentenced to 25 years in prison. Not to get into the sentencing, but there's a couple things that have come out that might hurt his chances of being pardoned by the board, or been recommended for pardon by the board, and then Abbott actually giving him the pardon. So he has other social media posts. I think we talked about it in one of our episodes, not to make posts on social media, especially if you're going to be carrying a firearm. I did say firearm. But he made some more posts that have come out that are a bit racist, and I read a few of them, and one of them was definitely racist. So I doubt that the board is going to recommend him being pardoned. So now he's going to spend 25 years in prison. And he also made an initial statement to the police where he stated that he could not wait for Foster to point his weapon at him before he made a move. So
he told the police that.
Yeah. So two things that we've always talked about, and we talk about during our classes, is don't make statements to the police without a lawyer present, and stay off social media. My goodness. You know, if you want to use social media for things like, I don't care, anything other than to do with politics and firearms, if you're going to carry a firearm.
Don't make statements that's going to get you in trouble if you're going out to carrying your gun into a protest. I don't understand making a statement to the police that I couldn't wait for him to point his gun so I could shoot him.
No, I'm sure he was trying to make the point. Well, you know, he didn't want to wait till act because he couldn't react quick enough. But still, don't make statements. It
don't sound good.
No, I doubt very seriously that he's going to get the recommendation from the board now, and I think it really hurt his chances with Abbott coming out so quick saying that he was going to pardon him before some of this information comes out. Now that if Abbott pardons him, it's going to look embarrassing to him with the racist statements.
Well, Abbott was just grandstanding. Now it's come back and bit him. So
yeah, bit him and Perry.
Yeah.
So that's tough. So now you got a guy that basically made a wrong turn as an Uber driver is going to spend 25 years in prison now. So not great. And the other case you're probably well aware of is the New York subway so-called chokehold case.
Yeah.
Daniel Penny. So I guess don't be named Daniel. But anyway. So he will face criminal charges. I think second-degree manslaughter or something like that is what they're charging him with. But this guy that he subdued had 40 prior arrests for assaulting people in the subway, causing issues. Was on their top 50 list of mentally unstable people in the subway for New York. But here's a guy now acting in the defense of others that might spend quite a few years in prison because of it. You know, it was stated by the defense that Penny restrained Neely after Neely reportedly started behaving erratically and showing aggression towards other passengers. He did what's going to be good for Penny is after he had him in the chokehold, he did place him in a recovery position, and he was still moving when he placed him in that recovery position. So that's going to look good on Penny and his defense. And there's no way they can show intent. So I know everybody's, a lot of people on Neely's side is wanting them to be charged with murder, but there's no way you can show intent on that. So,
but you're relying on a jury in New York, so
yeah, you are. He's definitely going to have a jury.
You're relying on other people to decide what happens in your life, and I'd rather not be in that situation.
Yeah, right. And a positive, they have started a GoFund or something.
Yeah, GoFundMe for him. Yeah, I heard that's another reason to be a member of like USPSA or CCW or some of these others. Is it CCW? Did I say that?
I can't remember. I meant to look up some of those others, what some of the others were called. I know we've got USPSA that we use, but there's definitely some others.
Yeah.
Better or worse. Just look for yourself to see which one fits best. But it does cover legal fees, covers bail fees. This guy was out on $100,000 bond, so that means he had to put $10,000 down. So
yeah, it's not just if you use a gun; it's any kind of self-defense incident,
right?
On most of them.
And this one, I would be hard pressed to say this was a use of deadly force case either. I think it's just use of force.
Yeah. All right, what else you got?
So let's just jump into I got a couple cases of use of self-defense, and I kind of based a theme off the one with Daniel Penny and Neely, where it was coming to the aid of others. So the first one is a Utah mother defends daughter from a boyfriend. Mother walked in and found daughter being beaten severely by her boyfriend. Mother retrieved a gun, ordered the boyfriend to stop, and apparently he must have, because it says after investigation, the police arrested the boyfriend. So I guess he left. I'm surprised she just didn't shoot him.
Yeah, I could have seen either way on that. That seems like it's a pretty decent, pretty straightforward use of gun.
I think the lady did actually well not shooting him, because my first reaction would have been...
I think it'd have been justified to shoot him. So I don't think there would have been an issue there if she'd have shot him.
Well, I guarantee you, if I walked in and seen somebody beating my daughter, I'd be hard-pressed not to shoot him. So good on her for stopping it.
So did he leave the house and then they arrested him?
It didn't say.
He just was arrested.
Yeah, he was arrested.
Yeah, you just get a little snippet of information on some of them.
Yeah, and then when you try to look them up, you can't find, media is terrible. You can't find a lot of information.
Well, yeah, it doesn't want to, if you used a gun to save someone or in defense, it doesn't want to put it out there because it's not the narrative.
Yeah, positive uses of force, you're not going to
find. But that seems like a very good way to use a gun, and I say even if she'd have shot him out, it would have been justifiable in my eyes. Yeah,
I don't see anything that she did wrong. I don't know some of the other cases we've talked about. We've seen some holes in their cases and what they should have done, what they shouldn't do. This case, I think, was textbook and what she should have done.
Yeah, unlike the one we talked about last week where the guy did a warning shot. She didn't do any of that. She just, hey, stop or I'm going to shoot you. Yep. And he stopped, so...
And that brings me to the next one. So a Missouri teen stopped an attack on his mother. And I couldn't figure out who was attacking his mother and where this was at. But a teenager saw someone strangling his mother. The man refused to stop. So the teenager went and retrieved a shotgun, shot the attacker in the head. Non-fatal wounds. So I guess he was using some kind of bird shot or something.
Yeah, it must have been a little bit of ways because even you'd have thought even if you close by, a bird shot would have done some damage.
Hurt though. Oh my gosh.
Man, that'd wake you up. I don't know how he didn't shoot his mom.
I don't either. I don't either. So to me, he had to be close enough that they didn't spread out and shoot his mom. But I don't know.
Maybe we need to do that at the range. We need to take some shotguns with our bird shot and see how far back we can be before we blow somebody's head off.
We can use a pumpkin. You're not shooting me in the head.
Well, yeah. Theoretically. I mean, we don't necessarily have a pumpkin.
A pumpkin would be cool to try it on.
Yeah, we got that mannequin we could shoot. See what it does.
I got that. So the attacker was arrested. So after he gets, it did say it said he will be arrested after he leaves the hospital.
Shotgun shot to the face.
Shotgun blow to the head.
Yeah, that's usually not a good day.
And then the last, I definitely don't have a lot of information on this one. I just seen a video of this one where a man punches a taller man in the face, and the taller man immediately pulls a gun and shoots 9 shots at the man. And the reason I say I have no more information on it because the person that was doing the video basically yelled and took off running. You've seen everybody scatter, but it was instantaneous. And the reason I bring that one up is we've talked about before proportionality. You definitely can't just pull a gun out when you get punched in the face one time, pull a gun out and start shooting somebody.
No, it seems you're escalating things a little. So for sure,
you definitely escalated. I mean, I watched the video. I got to show you the video. I mean, it's like he must have had his hand on the gun already. I mean, it was a quick. He had to draw that in less than a second and start shooting. It was fast.
Well, that's similar to a case we saw a few months back where a guy was outside of a bar.
Yeah.
And he got punched in the face a couple of times. They ended up shooting one guy. He
got slapped in the face.
Yeah, slapped a few times. Yeah.
Slapped, knocked his glasses off.
Yep. He ended up shooting the guy and killing him.
And that was justifiable. It turned out he won. He won that case.
Yeah, luckily. Man,
if you watch the video of that one, it was definitely that dude was going to get hurt. He was a smaller guy.
He was an older guy.
Yeah. Got his glasses knocked off. He couldn't see very well. There was actually 2 people that had hit him.
Yeah, that was a messed up situation. I don't know what you could do other than just not be there at that time. Because it's like 1 or 2 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, but, he was just outside talking outside.
Yeah, it was odd.
And all of a sudden, this guy just punches him.
Yeah.
And it took a minute before he pulled his. He didn't do it instantaneously to pull his gun. He got struck a few times.
Yeah, a couple times. Then he pumped him full of lead.
Yeah, pumping full of lead. Yes, he was.
That'd have been a good spot for your sound effect.
Oh yeah, wait a minute. A little late, but I like those things. All right, so that was the couple reviews or a couple use of force reviews I had for today. So I guess we can move into our second segment, which we're going to talk a little bit about some guns and some gear. This segment brought to you by Misty Made It. For all your craft needs, check out Misty Made It on Facebook and Instagram. If you use the discount code Clear Creek, you get 10% off your first order. Some good stuff.
That is good.
It is good stuff.
Well, my first gun review is the Smith Wesson Equalizer. It's a micro compact 9mm. Came out during, I believe, SHOT Show, maybe. It comes with 3 magazines. It's based off the easy to rack slide, like when they started with the 380.
Is this a carry gun?
It's micro compact. I said micro compact.
I didn't hear you. I wasn't listening.
It has a capacity of either 10, 13, or 15. Internal hammer fired. Let's see how long is length. Full length is 6.75 inches. Barrel length is 3.6. So about the same size as our Canik.
What's the capacity? I'm just kidding. I heard you.
10, 13, or 15.
I heard you. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
So it has the easy to rack slide. That's kind of started with their 380 Easy.
Yeah, my wife's got one of those. I like those little guns. They
and
shoot
then
good too.
And they decided to make an easier to rack slide for the 9mm. So I was kind of looking in that what makes that easier to rack. So typically on a standard striker-fired semi-automatic handgun, the slide tension has a direct correlation to the tension of the recoil spring. So by pulling back the slide to load around into the chamber, you are putting the spring tension on the striker as it engages the sear. So that task requires a greater force on the striker-fired gun than it does on a hammer-fired. Like this gun is, it's got an internal hammer-fired. So the internal hammer is what Smith & Wesson says is what makes that an easier slide. So the hammer-fired operation is the key component to reducing the felt slide tension by about half. So they're saying it's by about half. So that's to give you a little knowledge on.
I guess that's why striker fire can't make a similar easy slide then.
Yeah, because the way that works, what I just spoke on.
That's a good review. How much does that gun go for?
$5.99.
Oh, that's not bad.
For MSRP. It also will work with the Shield magazines. So if you have a Shield Plus, then those same magazines work with the Equalizer.
Oh, that's cool. That's always handy because magazines are getting expensive.
Like your wife's 380, it has the magazines have the little thing like a 22 to
those
help load.
Are nice.
But they also ship the gun with the Maglua Uplua, the loader, that magazine loader like I have.
Yeah, I know what you.
I'm holding my hand up and kind of showing you.
Hope everybody can see that.
Yeah, but that's a nice loader. So not only does the magazines load pretty easy, they give you a magazine loader to go with that.
Cool.
3-slot Picatinny rail below the barrel, optics cut.
Everything's coming optics cut these days.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a Shield RMSC or Holosun 507 footprint. They can be co-witnessed. If you don't like the red dot or the dot, you have a standard 3 white dot sight, and so it looks like a pretty nice pistol. Shoots pretty good from what I can tell. So that's my review on the Equalizer.
Yeah, I took my Mossberg 930 JM Pro Shotgun out last week when we were at the range. We shot some clay targets with it. First time I've had that thing out in quite a while. I bought that for 3-gun competitions. I don't even remember if I ever shot in a 3-gun competition.
You did 3-gun competitions.
I know. I don't say I remember if I ever shot a 3-gun competition. I don't remember if I ever shot this gun.
Well, it sounded like you didn't remember shooting a 3-gun competition.
I remember shooting. I think I did.
Yeah, I remember you had that little carton on.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so that's what I bought it for. I don't think I ever used it in one because I pretty well went just to shooting. We went to doing the steel challenge stuff for a while.
Yeah.
Stopped for a few years after we got our range and just did a lot of range work, and now shooting a lot of USPSA stuff. But it's for a the JM Pro, JM stands for Jerry Michalak. If anybody's familiar with him, yeah, I think he's a fairly decent shooter.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, but he designed this gun. He does a lot of 3-gun stuff. Does a lot. He does everything. If you have never seen Jerry Michalak shoot, look him up on YouTube. It's quite impressive. I think he can do. Even his daughter's. I think his daughter's one of the best 3-gun shooters out there, man or a woman. So it's pretty cool. But this one comes in at less than $800. I think they've now come out with a 940. I've got the 930, which I bought this probably 4 years ago, something like that. It's a 10+1 capacity.
Longer than that, you had it before we had the range.
I probably did. Yeah, so probably about 5 or 6 years ago. Probably back 2017 or so.
Yeah.
It's got a 10+1 capacity, which is awesome for a shotgun. Only weighs about 7 pounds with a barrel length of 24 inches. Length of pull is about 14 inches, which is common for a shotgun. Trigger pull.
14 inches.
Yeah.
Length of pull. What the crap are you talking about? What do you mean length of pull is 14 inches?
From your shoulder to where you're pulling the trigger.
Oh.
You put the gun on your shoulder.
Okay.
Where you're reaching your hand up to pull the trigger, it's about 14 inches.
Okay.
You can put some spacers in there to either pull some out to make it shorter, put some in to make it longer if you're taller, your arm length is longer or shorter.
Okay.
Your length of pull on your ARs, as you can imagine, is much shorter than that. And you want them much shorter, 10 to 13 inches. But for a shotgun, around 14 inches is about standard. It's got a trigger pull of about 4 pounds, 6 ounces. You can pull that, with semi-auto, really fast trigger. It's got an adjustable over travel stop for the trigger, so you can do some adjustments on that. It's got a larger charge handle than most shotguns, so it was definitely designed around competition shooting. It's got a vent rib barrel with a red fiber optic bead. Great little gun to shoot. I've loved it. So very accurate. I can't remember. I think it's been a while since I shot any slugs through it, but I think next time I take it out to the range, I'm going to shoot some slugs through it. See how accurate it is out to about 50 yards with some slugs and stuff. So nice gun. Like I said, they've come out with the 940 now, but the JM Pros, they've got a tactical one too. It's got a pistol grip on it. So it's highly recommended, especially for the price. I mean, you're not going to find a top quality gun like that for that price for the most part, less than $1,000. And I also got something came across. We were talking. What are you looking at me for?
We're having a conversation. Where else am I supposed to be looking?
Like it was my turn. All right. Anyway, so we were talking. I can't remember which episode it was, about a floating stock adapter for an AR. But the problem, the only one of the downsides was you couldn't fire it, but once it was folded. So this Foxtrot Mach Gen 2. And they call it a bufferless rifle, but they have bufferless in quotes. I'll explain why. But they also sell the uppers with shorter than 16-inch barrels. It is side folding, but what's cool is it can shoot while it's folded, and it's also side charging, which is neat. So you're not your normal AR charging handle.
Charging like an AK, basically.
Charging like an AK.
Yeah.
So that's pretty neat. It's non-reciprocating. It can be mounted, the side charger can be mounted in 4 positions. The buffer system has been moved completely into the upper, which did make it about a 1/4 inch taller than your mil-spec ARs. The recoil assembly consists of 2 nested recoil springs on a guide rod that keys into both an end cap and a modified gas key. So it's a pretty neat operating system. But yeah, so since we talked about folding ARs, I thought this one was pretty cool. It came across. I was going to talk about a new Apollo 11 2011 that's coming out, but it's out now for what do you call it? Not layaway. Order. You can order them, but they're not coming out until like July. So I couldn't find any reviews on it. But it's a 2011 that's going to be priced at less than $1,000. So it'd be interesting to see how well those shoot. So we'll do something on that. Once those come out. Hopefully, if I have my FFL by then, I'll order a couple to sell, and we can test them out before we sell it.
You gonna let me talk now?
Sure. You got any more reviews?
Yeah. Remember we mentioned I was going to talk about the Canik TP9 SFX.
Yeah, I forgot. right. I got a couple of those.
Yeah, barrel length 5.2 inches, overall length 8 1/4. I had the Venom Viper red dot on it till it shattered. So now I'm back to the iron sights. The front sights fiber optic, rear sights blacked out.
Yeah, but that red dot lasted what?
10,000
10,000
yeah,
rounds?
it lasted a long time. Yeah, it was. I put a lot of rounds through it before it went off. I liked it. I liked the dot. I liked the red dot on it. So it was a good red dot. It just finally had enough. I was just going to talk.
I got the mechanics on mine.
Yeah, I was going to talk about some of the modifications. Even though it has a extremely good trigger out of the box, I put the Freedom Smith racer style trigger.
Is that one of the Fat Daddies?
No, it's from Freedom Smith. I just said Freedom Smith racer style.
Oh, whatever.
That's what I said. It has relief cuts on each side, which aids into depressing the safety. A bit easier than on the wide Fat Daddy version. So I guess it is a Fat Daddy version. So apparently it is.
It's a flat face trigger too.
Yeah, flat. Well, that's what I wanted. I wanted a flat face trigger. This one, it's got a purple. It's a purple trigger with a green colored heavy duty safety lever. Looks pretty cool. Don't say duty.
Don't say a word.
Yeah. One good thing about the trigger, it reduces the pre-travel and over-travel. So it made that a little bit better than what it was out of the box. Wide flat surface, closed at the bottom, aluminum construction on it. So really nice trigger. So that's one of the modifications I made to it.
We changed out the striker spring on that one too.
Well, I was about to get to that.
Well, I thought she was going to talk about the recoil spring. I know with the trigger we had to change out the striker.
Well,
spring.
you had to. Yeah, I thought you had to do that with the recoil spring. We had to change out the.
Maybe so.
Yeah, it was when we bought the recoil. Yeah, because it's the Spring Co recoil management.
Yeah.
Spring Co recoil management guide rod system.
You're right.
So it's a secondary or sub-spring assembly incorporated into a heat-treated stainless steel guide rod. And it's basically to cushion the slide to frame impact. So I don't know if it's helped any or not. I like it. It's I don't know if I really noticed a difference in
No, I don't
in
either.
any operation of it.
So I've got two SFX, one with that Spring Co recoil spring in it, and one without. I don't see a big difference. I do have those triggers in both those SFXs. I bought that Rival. It came with a flat face trigger.
Yeah.
I'd ordered a Fat Daddy trigger to replace, but I still hadn't used it because the Rival trigger was so good. And the Rival is just a bit different than the SFX. It's got a 5-inch barrel.
Yeah. They did that for USPSA.
They did it for IPSC. USPSA.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. It was IPSC.
Yeah.
Yeah, then the only other mod I made to the gun was the Talon grips. We've talked about this before. I got the granulate, the real rough one, grip on there, which really, man, it makes you really hold on to the gun. As far as if I had the choice between either the recoil spring or the grip to make it easier to control recoil, I'd go with that grip every time. It just allows you to hold on to it.
Yeah, you can't beat Canik, so they're
good guys. So it's fun to shoot, and eventually I'll put another red dot on it, but I'm going with irons for now.
I think right now I've got the compact, 2 SFXs, and the Rival, and I'm waiting on the Rival steel frame.
Well, that's my gun review. So what's our next segment?
So we move on to I've got a couple of updates for USPSA if we want to run through those real quick, and then I can do my FFL update kind of toward the end. We talked about doing a new segment this week too around tip of the week, so we can we'll save that for the end of this podcast if we still have a little bit of time left. But USPSA updates that we've been talking about over the last few episodes around the turmoil in the board, and it just continues. So they did have a special called meeting. It might have been last week, where one of the area directors had called for a special meeting due to the fact that area Mel Rodero, I can't remember which area he's in. 2? But don't look at me.
Once again, we don't have our information ready.
It's not 8 because 8's
I
Ted
don't
Murphy.
remember.
So I think it's 2. Anyway, so they wanted to bring up the fact that since he didn't have his RO certification when he took office, he was not eligible to actually take office. Well, he knew that was going to be brought up in that meeting, so he took a plane and got his RO certification the week prior to that special board meeting. They two guys wanted to bring a motion to vote on whether or not he should be able to stay in office. But Ted Murphy, the acting president, said, no, you can't bring up the motion. So he wouldn't even let him bring up the motion, which is...
How can they not let him bring up the motion?
I don't know. I guess because they can do whatever they want to do. It's so corrupt. I mean, my gosh. You got a guy that's not supposed to be in there. They scrubbed Yi-Man Lin's information off the USPSA site again. So now he's no longer listed on the site. He's listed as still running for president, but his information is not on there.
How can you run for president if he's not an RO?
He can't. Well, he can run, but you have to have your RO certification when you take office. And since he's not going to be able to have that, he's not going to be able to take office. So even if he won, they wouldn't let him take office.
Well, unless he's Mel Rodero, and then they'd let him.
I mean, they're not going to let him run there. And then we've got 3 elections coming up. I mentioned last time the Area 6 election. What's neat about that is Matt Hopkins is actually going to be one of the candidates for that. With Ben Berry, Kyle Stevens. I don't see that Bruce Wells, the current Area 6 director, is going to run. Hopefully he won't. And then you get the Area 8 directors. I don't know the 2 guys that are running for that, but also Ted Murphy, who's the acting president now. It doesn't look like he's going to run for re-election. So if we can get rid of those 2 guys off the board, put in a new president, but all of it doesn't matter because apparently the DNROI actually runs USPSA anyway because he can get rid of whoever he wants.
It's a big mess.
Oh, it's ridiculous. There's a couple of people I've recognized that are running for president. I don't know who I'm voting for yet. Steve Moneypenny, he ran last time. You got Yi-Man Lin still listed on there. Steve Wright, Ray Hurst. There's Todd Jarrett, who's been a long-time shooter. He's running. Dexter Lopez. I don't know some of those guys, but it'll be the elections. I think the voting is supposed to start first week of June. I think everybody had it. Area 6, it's really to me, it's between Matt Hopkins and Ben Berry. I like Ben Berry. I listen to his podcast. He's the one that has a lot of information. He was one of the ban the Bens back when the other president that got removed from office. I can't remember his name.
Foley.
Yeah, Foley. He's the one that got into it with Foley. But he's pretty good. He does a good match in North Carolina and does a lot of Area 6 stuff, so he'd be a good one between him and Matt Hopkins, I think, are the 2 choices for me. So it'd be interesting to see how that goes. But yeah, and then the Area 6 championship match was this week. I didn't go to it this year. So.
Oh, that the one you went to last year?
Yeah,
that one in North Carolina?
Yeah, that's when I got DQ.
Oh, okay.
It's a good match. It's all at least last year it was all RO or staff reset.
Yeah.
And I like that a lot. You're not constantly going down pasting targets, and people can't, no way to cheat really from getting a target pasted too soon or anything like that, or resetting still. So, but the Area 6 match ended today. It looks like Jacob Heatherton, I don't know.
It's Heatherton.
Yeah, he won in CO. Nils Jonathan came in second in CO, and your guy came in third.
Rakaza?
Max Michel.
No, was Rakaza in that?
I didn't. He might have been in the open. I didn't see him.
He usually runs CO.
I don't think I even.
That'd be interesting because he lost the last one too. So it'd be interesting to know what place he was.
Let me look real quick. I didn't see him in there.
So Michelle was in third.
Yeah.
They usually have pretty good turnout for CO.
Man, it was like 13 stages or 12 stages in a chrono. And Max Michel had 0 misses, 0 no-shoots, and like 2 Ds.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Stages.
That's nuts.
It is. It's hard for me to believe.
Well, they've been doing that for a long time.
It don't matter, man. That's unbelievably
good shooting.
One of the guys I shoot with, he didn't do too bad. One of the guys I shoot with shot an open. He's now looks like he's a GM. Dude is like top 10.
Oh, really?
He shoots here and shoots at a place I shoot a lot. I knew he was good, but daggum, top 10 and open is pretty good. I'm trying to see what we do overall. See, I didn't see JJ Ricaz. I don't know if he went to this one.
I wouldn't do overall. I would do.
Well, I'm just seeing if I can find his name.
We'll just look in CO.
Well, I don't think he was in CO. I told you that. I don't see his name at all on here.
Maybe he wasn't there. I was just asking. We ain't got to take up time with that.
Well, if you were asking, I was looking.
Well, I mean, we didn't. I done pass Karen on
I
that.
can look while you talk about something else.
I don't have anything else to talk about. I've done my reviews. That's all I bring to the table.
Yeah, I know.
That's my witty comments.
No, I don't see him on here at all. So I don't think he shot this match. So looks like it was a pretty good match. It'd be interesting to hear some people talk about what happened at the match, but didn't see a lot of DQs on this one compared to what was it the one I was at. There was a lot of DQs the one I went to, and there was some 180 traps.
There's a lot of DQs. What was it, the Dragons Cup?
Yeah,
or something
I think
like
there
that?
was a bad 180 trap on that one.
Yeah,
where people were
there was a lot of DQs in that match as well.
So I have continued moving forward with getting my federal firearms license, my FFL. I think I mentioned last week I got the zoning board approved my home business, which was a relief because that's been a long time coming. I've tried that before, but I went to the business department to get my business license because part of having your FFL is you have to have a business. Well, so I was going to go get my business license. So I go down to the business department. Give them the form that showed I was approved. They asked me, what I was going to be doing. I said, I'm going to be selling guns online. They said, well, you need your. I said, I'm going to get my FFL so I sell guns. They said, well, you need your FFL before we give you your business license. I said, well, I need my business license before I get my FFL. They said, well, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, that's nice.
So I said, okay, whatever. I'll deal with it. I'll come back once I get everything straightened out. So I took a different route. So I went through the state of Alabama. I actually went through Rocket FFL, Rocket Lawyers to get my LLC set up. So now I've got an LLC approved already. It took like just a couple of days.
So do you have to do a business license now, or can you just do it with the LLC?
No, to sell an indicator, I still have
Oh,
to
you
have
got to, yeah, okay.
I still have to have a city
Even if
business
it's
license.
online.
Even if it's online, because I still pay taxes in the state,
Okay.
so in the city and in the state. So I got my LLC, so that's been approved.
Did you hear that?
Yeah. So now I'm Clear Creek Shooting LLC. I've got a website, Clear Creek Shooting 33, because that was the only domain I could get close enough to Clear Creek Shooting, because there were some of those already taken, believe it or not. So I've got the domain. I got my website set up as info@clearcreekshooting33.com. So anybody wants any information on the upcoming online store, I got a website set up, but it just says online store coming soon with some pictures of shirts on it. So I don't know.
You may want to change that.
I'm going to once it says under construction, so it's not.
But you got shirts on it.
That's why it was a stock picture. So I got to change that around. I'll get to work on the website this week. But so that's moving forward. I finished up with my FFL application really today because I ordered some fingerprint cards. You can actually do your own fingerprints now. Several years ago when I did my SBR, I had to go somewhere I went to the sheriff's office and had them take my fingerprints before. But they changed it to where now you can do them yourself. So I've got those done, got my passport pictures, my 2x2 picture that I got attached to it. So everything's completed. It's going to be a $200 fee. I need to look and see if I want to go ahead and move forward with the SOT stuff. I got to see what that charge is, the special something tax. I can't remember what it's called, but your yearly, it's definitely more expensive to go in that route, but you can deal with NFA items like your suppressors, short-barreled rifles, actually deal in machine guns at that point. So I can actually have them using that SOT. We could,
So how much better price do you think you can get having an FFL and going wholesale?
No, it's going to be interesting. I don't know. I looked on some websites to see what wholesalers I can use, but until I get my FFL license, I can't even access their websites. Once I get my FFL, then I can send them a copy of my FFL, get access to the websites and see what the wholesale prices are. I imagine it's going to be, I don't know, what do you think, 10, 20% cheaper?
If I knew, I wouldn't ask you.
Well, I mean, just from
I don't know.
From what other things sell at wholesale, I would imagine it's going to be 10, 20% cheaper.
No idea.
It's going to be pretty neat, so we'll see what happens there. That's kind of, hopefully, I think it's, they give a time frame of 60 days from the time they get your application to the time it's approved or not approved, and that includes the time of setting up an interview for them coming on to really the interview is basically them explaining all the rules and guidelines.
About the ATF.
Yeah.
Is that do they come out in person or they do a phone interview?
Well, from what I understand, they come out in person because they want to inspect your
Oh yeah.
where you're going to store any firearms that you're keeping for sale. Which I'm just going to buy a little fireproof safe, and put in the room that I'm going to use for that, like a 2 or 3 gun safe to hold those in. So moving right along. 60 more days we'll have that. And I did look at see what the requirements were for attending SHOT Show, and it looks like my FFL gets me in. For you to get in, you're either going to have to go through using our podcast to get in, or ought to put you down as a employee of Clear Creek Shooting LLC.
Hey, do we have to have a certain number of viewers or listeners for the podcast to get in?
I hope not. So it looks like we got a couple returning listeners from Dayton, Ohio, Hudson, Florida, Columbus, Ohio, Albuquerque, New Mexico. So shout out to all those guys who are hopefully sticking with us and listening to this.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd like to. I don't know how we can get some reviews on it and see what we can improve.
I don't know if we want to right now.
Yeah, well, maybe I can improve my voice a little bit somehow.
Yeah, well,
To
surgery
synthesize that. Yeah, that would help. That would definitely help.
But yeah, I mean, it looks like we
Got
got
nasal issues.
You got more than just nasal issues.
What are we done in segments? Are we done?
We can do a kind of a end segment real quick. Tip of the week, since I don't think we're really going to go back to doing right now doing classes. So kind of something from our classes we would always do is talk about what kind of a tip on how you should set up your home defense, or even pulling the trigger and those type of things. So today I just wanted to kind of, since we've had some recent cases, and a lot of those cases that we talk about in our self-defense cases are basically home intruders or something happening in the home. So I just want to remind people how important it is to have some type of, oh my gosh, I just kicked my microphone.
Yeah, that sounds good on there.
Having some kind of self-defense, home self-defense plan and practicing it. And you're a testament to how those can go wrong.
Oh yeah, those don't go well at all.
If you don't practice them.
Yeah, we actually practiced it at one point, and then I guess it'd been a few months or so. Alarm goes off. I get my gun, go into the kitchen area where I thought the door was open, and I saw the door open and blown open. Turn the alarm off. Turn around. Wife and son standing right there.
Yeah, I think the plan was for them to be upstairs.
Yeah, the plan was for them not to be standing behind me when I turn around. That was the plan.
Yeah, so that was my tip of the day. So just have a plan in place. We always talk, you talk about having a plan if there's a fire in your house or how to escape that.
That was a long time ago, though.
Yeah, that's been quite a few years ago.
Yeah, we probably should redo that. It's been a long time since we've gone over that.
I mean, I definitely need to review the one I have here. I need to change the screws in my front door. There's other things I need to do as well, but it is important to have a plan on what you're going to do if somebody breaks in, and have different scenarios that you're using. Somebody coming in during the day, somebody coming in at night if you're asleep. Just different scenarios on what you're going to do in those type of actions. I've always told my wife if somebody's holding her hostage, there's no way I'm putting my gun down. So
no, shoot her in the leg. Go ahead.
I told her just to not to jump up there. Duck, she sees me pull the trigger. But no joking aside, just have a plan in place.
Yeah, probably shouldn't shoot her in the leg.
No,
that's not. 2 episodes now. I'm just kidding. When she listens to it, I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah. You didn't want her to go to SHOT Show. Now you want me to shoot her.
Saving her life.
Oh yeah, whatever. But yeah, so SHOT Show coming up January. They got Gun Con, I think, coming up for Brown Hills in June or July. Might have been September.
Oh my gosh!
I can't remember now.
Hey, let's maybe not bring up stuff. We have no idea when it's happening.
I think it's June because I looked at it and I think it was right the week that me and your boy and my wife and daughter were going to Ireland. So I think that's why I couldn't attend that. So looks like it's going to be pretty neat. A bunch of people there. And I think that's all I had for today.
Yeah, it gets us around 40 minutes of a 40-minute mark. So that's probably enough.
Sounds like a good stopping point. So until next time, we are Everything Guns.